Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here for hour number 2 of the show here tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. And if you guys want to be involved in the show at all, make sure you're doing it. Text me, 715-990-4914. That is 715-990-4914. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on anything Wisconsin sports or elsewhere tonight here on the show. And make sure you're following us across all social media platforms. Search me up, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade, across Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, over there. Across all social media, you can find it, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade. So this next segment, is stopping by. We're going to talk a little Packers here. This next segment is brought to you by Badger Tree Care, the local tree care company doing tree removal, tree trimming, pruning, full cleanup, small lot clearing, storm cleanup. They do it all. Trevor Barth, call them there, 715-937-3276. That is 715-937-3276. Call Trevor there for all of your tree removal needs. So Ummer is here tonight. Ummer, how we doing? It's Wednesday, the Packers. But before we get to the Packers, let's not talk Packers yet. How are you doing on this Wednesday?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain. It's middle of the week. I'm slowly getting over what happened on Sunday. I'm looking forward to Monday night in a way where I'll be very indifferent. And all in all, work is going pretty good. Still crazy, but I can't complain. How about you, man? How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great right now. Better, way better. 100 times better than the Packers. 100 times better than the Packers. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
There is so much that went wrong. Some that went, we just in the game wrong, and then after the game finding out wrong. Just so many things that, wow, it was just a bad couple of days for the Green Bay Packers. So let's just start out with this game here. So looking at this game, let's just start with the good, bad, and the ugly. Was there a good? Was there really a good? Was there a good in this game for the Green Bay Packers? That's hard.
That is a very, very good
question. Was the last time we came off of a game and we said to ourselves, was there a good?
Oh, I got a good. After Tucker Kraft hurt his knee because Sean Ryan can't do anything right. We got to see an extended look at Musgrave, who kind of hit the ground running, was very instrumental in that final drive. And you know what? I was impressed. And I think that even though he is no Tucker Kraft, he does have value. And I feel like he will be able to hopefully change the offense up a little bit instead of being so run focused, but maybe more pass focused and allowing Jordan to cook a little more with a big target like that.
People forget that Luke Musgrave was the guy before Tucker Kraft was the guy. Like, he was supposed to be. He was way ahead of him on the depth chart. And then all of a sudden, he got that liver laceration there. And he was out, and and then ended up he was out. So then Tucker Kraft stepped in. He's been fantastic and has actually taken that next step ahead of Luke Musgrave. So I would agree. I did like what we saw out of him in that one. I thought, X played a pretty good game. Xavier McKinney played a pretty good game out there in the safety spots. You could say him. Cooper didn't have a bad day. Outside of that, the defense only gave up 16 points.
Yeah, that's how we look at it, right?
That's not terrible. You look in total, Carolina. This is the ugly. Let's just look at the ugly here for a second. The Packers had 369 yards of total offense. The Panthers had 265. The Packers ran 63 total plays. They were 2 for 3 on fourth down, 7 for 13 on third down. They had 7 rushing first downs. They had 20 first downs in total. Let's go with that there. They were 26 for 37 in the air. If I gave you all those numbers and I told you they played the Carolina Panthers, would you believe that they lost?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't have believed they lost. Like, that's those numbers. They aren't and not blow you out of the water numbers by any means, but pretty darn good numbers in total for the Green Bay Packers. And yet, this is the outcome we're looking at right now. This was the finishing touch to what was, just a miserable day, especially with the injury that you just mentioned there with Tucker Kraft. So let's just look straight at that ugly right there. What was your, we just talked about the good. What was your bad? What was your bad coming off this game? What was your worst bad that you had coming off this game?
I think my worst bad is the lack of attention to detail when it comes to everybody on the team. This includes Matt LaFleur and his play calling and maybe trying to be too schemy and too designy and not just trying to, I think a couple of people said it today where just, line up and play football. Stop trying to get cute about it. And then, of course, attention to detail with the blocking scheme, with Savion knowing not how to get down or not how to run around his own blocker. And just, man, on defense, just every time they called a play, it was the opposite play of what they needed to do. When they were looking for run, they passed it. When they passed it, it's just opposite time every single time. And it would just remind me of the games where I felt like that San Francisco 49ers game in the NFC Championship in 2019. Like it felt like no matter what we did, it was just all wrong. And man, they just had this vibe of second that game kicked off, it just felt like something was off. So yeah, that's that and just honestly, just the offense as a whole. I'm just not very. I'm starting to get on your wagon about LaFleur and certain things. Not firing, but he is annoying the hell out of me right now.
I don't think you fire him, but I think there has to be the serious conversation of the play calling of this team needs to change, and there might need to be a change at offensive play caller. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a guy in-house at this very moment, but there might need to be that conversation. Because if you look at this, I saw a stat. It was 25% of Jordan Love's pass attempts over the last 6 games have been from behind the line of scrimmage. Highest behind only Kyler Murray there. Only 13% of his pass attempts in that span have been in the intermediate area, 10 to 19 yards, which is the 3rd lowest. What defenses are doing to the Green Bay Packers right now? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you my opinion why. But what I think they're doing to the Green Bay Packers is what I know they're doing is taking away the deep ball. They're not allowing Jordan Love to blow the field open right now. And they're taking away what is at the line of scrimmage. They're making him throw behind the line of scrimmage, and they're just blowing it up in the backfield. How many times do we have to watch Matthew Golden get a flip pass out there and just pray that our guy can beat their guy? Why is that the scheme? Why on a 3rd down are you drawing up a screen pass for Emmanuel Wilson coming out the outside or Savion Williams? Why are we scheming up plays for Savion Williams, but we can't scheme up anything for Matthew Golden? I don't understand it. But either way, back to where my point was.
That's what I'm asking.
The run game, we mentioned this. We said it. We didn't believe the run game had to be the total focus of this thing. I lied. Correct. I lied. I'm in the opposite now. I believe because the Green Bay Packers cannot run the ball consistently, and Josh Jacobs, and we can sit here and say, oh, Josh Jacobs is having a rough year. No, the offensive line has just at times just been
bad.
They've just been pitiful. They're not opening up yards. But when you look at a guy like Josh Jacobs and he's averaging 3 yards a carry right now, there's your problem.
Yeah.
This offense cannot flourish unless Josh Jacobs flourishes.
Yep.
So you know what? You know what I'm saying? This offense needs to find Josh Jacobs again. Because I said, and I think you can put the load on Jordan Love's shoulders and say, go win me a football game. You can put the load on his shoulders and say, we got to throw the ball. But you can't you cannot open up the passing game unless if Josh Jacobs can find something in the run game. Because right now, the lack of the run is killing them. And why do they lack the run, Elmer? Why do they lack it? Why do they run so much out of shotgun? That is my biggest problem. They're running so much crap out of shotgun right now. You want to know why Josh Jacobs, one of the bigger backs in the league, a big fella, he's just got a bruiser of a method of running the football. Why it's so hard for him to get going? You're handing him the ball while he's standing still and saying, go for it, buddy. Mm-hmm. Give him the ball going downhill, but add the deception of, wow, Jordan Love's back's turned to me. I wonder if he's going to keep it. I wonder if he's going to run play action. I wonder if he's going to hand the ball to Josh Jacobs. There's so many things that can happen. Right now, all defenses have to do, because they can see it all, because you're standing right in front of them, is they can just send the house. They can send everybody down. Guess what? When they send the house, you can do those little things with the play action. You can boot a guy out. You can do all that kind of stuff. But you can't from the shotgun. You can't. You can't exploit defenses the same way when you're so one-dimensional and vanilla, like you're telling me. Like you just specifically told me there, Elmer. I mean, you said it. This team they come out so flat. They come out so vanilla. There's nothing there. Matt LaFleur seems uninspired. The play calling, the scheming. You don't have to scheme it up sometimes. Like you said, line it up, play football. That's not what they're doing. They're running shotgun. They're trying to scheme it up so much. He's got to get all crazy with it because he's so one-dimensional with the way that he's setting it up, where he's not allowing Jordan Love to play under center, get his back to the back defense there, and make some of that misconception. What's he going to do? What's he not? I wonder why Aaron Rodgers shut his headset off, why he couldn't hear him in his helmet. I wonder why. I really do. Ummer, to you. I'm going crazy over here. To you. What are your thoughts on the shotgun? What are your thoughts on the run game? I mean, what are your thoughts on what we're seeing from this offense right now? You kind of alluded to it before, but it's just driving me nuts. It is the amount of shotgun and the amount of, just nonsense that we're running right now if you're the Green Bay Packers.
No, I was going to say the shotgun thing drives me absolutely insane. And listening to certain people break it down, I can understand there's some positives with it. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's getting way too – I don't know if he's tried – go into his bag way too much and trying to just do things that are a little bit unconventional. And then when he sees teams do certain ways when they do their defensive scheme, like, keeping two eyes shell and things like that, he almost feels like he has to get them out of it. Like it's almost like, okay, if it's this, it's this. If it's this, it's this. Like if I see this defense, I do this. If it's this type of play, I call this. And it's like, I feel like he has a very hard time adapting out of his normal decision making. And because of that, he's here stuck trying to, consistently almost do the same thing. I'm watching him literally repeat plays from game in and game out to the point to where if I'm seeing that on my couch and I can get an idea of when, first down, they're going to run the ball, second and short, second and long, they're going to either run it, they're going to pass it. And then on third and short, they're going to run or they're going to throw it deep. And they're not going to try to get the first down. And like people are literally playing their Joe Barry defense against us right now. And we're struggling. Yep. And I'm sorry, like Vic Fangio, for the most part, LaFleur and Rodgers have had his number. But now with Love, I think Love can still get it. But man, like the way Fangio plays that defense, I know Philadelphia is not what they were last year, but they're still a very good team. And that defensive front is still nasty. And we made the Carolina Panthers look like, the 2001 Baltimore Ravens with their defense. It was insane. And so, like, I feel like on offense, we need to find an actual identity, because if you and me can agree that the last year and a half have felt like a herky-jerky, no consistency, no rhyme, no rhythm. It's just all over the place, and it just doesn't feel – there's no flow, and he used to be really good at that.
He's got this obsession right now where he has to try and be so creative and try to be smarter than everybody and try to draw up this magical play. When at some points, it's just, how am I going to get the ball to Josh Jacobs and how am I going to crack off 7 yards? That's all you need to do. Not how am I going to get the ball to Matthew Golden behind the line of scrimmage and how am I going to get him to bust off for 15 yards there? Because that is not it. That is not it. On a third down, when you need some chunk yardage there, I really said, why are you not throwing a slant route to Romeo Doubs? It's like your money.
It's there every time.
It is your bread and butter, what you go to every time. And if they try to double that, then there's somebody else open. There's so many other ways that you can draw this up right now.
Yeah.
And yet Matt LaFleur decides, well, nah, I don't want to. Let's get crazy with it. Let's run a screen pass to Savion Williams because that'll be fun. It's that. It's the obsession with having to do all this creative stuff where, like you said, he digs so deep into this bag of tricks when everybody's saying the most simple thing. It's like we've sat here, and I know, like you said, there's like so many people out there say, well, there's so many benefits to running out of, shotgun. You can see the field better. You can do this. Okay, great. I don't care. We've watched enough football where we've watched Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and everybody else, right? We've watched them all play underneath the center for years and have success. Now, I'm just crazy to think this, but Hall of Fame quarterbacks might have been onto something. These Hall of Fame play callers might have been onto something. Football has gotten faster. Guys have gotten quicker. I will agree with that. But it does not mean that there is not still a way to run underneath the center, that there is not a need for play action. Because it works. It works. Absolutely. When you have a mobile quarterback, get Jordan Love out and running. Get him out and running. When was the last time we saw Jordan Love's legs? Just utilize his legs, where he is that threat to throw the ball, because we know the arm talent that he has, where he can make some throws, where he can throw the ball in the run, but also he can take off and get you a couple. Where also he can, hand it off to Josh Jacobs while he's turned around. There's so many options that you can go with that the Packers are just avoiding by running at the shotgun. It just drives me absolutely nuts. It just does.
I feel you. I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of those things where I feel like we just shoot ourselves in the foot over and over and over. And it's just like, hey, like at this point, year 7, like there's things you just got to get out of your system. He's still making repeat mistakes. I mean, we talk about play calling, but I didn't talk about some of the roster decision making when it comes to having we're now having 2 losses and a tie primarily because our kicker is missing field goals. And then you have, Lucas, the substitute teacher, right there on the team. And this guy's still supposedly working through something in his leg. And I'm like, we're still trying him out there. Just some of this stuff defies logic. I posted about it. It's like you have players that are continually hurt, that are currently hurt, and you give them the benefit of the doubt to be out there. But if they're not performing well, you don't take them off the field. You just keep them out there. And I don't know why they lack the common sense to defy logic. Like, okay, if he's banged up, I don't care what he's saying. If he's not 100% and he's like 80 or 70, I'd rather get the guy who's healthy. He may not be as good, but at least he's healthy and he can
Yep.
run with someone, or he can block properly, or in this case, kick a field goal. Like, we lose games like by 3 or by 3 or more, or sorry, 3 or less, 3 or more. And why? Because of things like that. That's just he needs to be A-0 right now if we had just a kicker that was semi-consistent.
Yep. Yep. I know. I agree. I agree 100%. I was watching earlier. I think it was a Nate Hobbs. They were showing some of the highlights of him off this last
Oh
game.
God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He looks
And
lost.
don't even
Like
he
it
looks
just
so
he looks
lost.
lost. Like I don't understand. It looks like worse than in the preseason when we were watching Isaiah Simmons, and I was really had high hopes for him. And it was like
Wow,
watching
that
him
is
out
so
there in
spot
pass
on.
coverage. And I know, and I understand. And maybe I don't know. I don't know what his, work ethic or like understanding is of defenses, how quick he catches on, because I know he's been injured, right? He's been out for a while. So I don't, maybe it's a guy who just doesn't understand the scheme that they're trying to run at the moment or what it is, but he's doing worse for you being out there than he is
I
sitting on the
agree.
sideline watching and maybe
Yep.
understanding. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings, right? I'm not in the room. So I don't know if maybe it's like, it's not clicking. The schemes aren't clicking in his head, because we've seen it before with other guys like Quay Walker, right? Right now, teams will just run at him because, like, that's just, run the football like Quay Walker. Either he's going to blow it up in the backfield or you're going to go right past him. One of the two. And I'd take the chances on going right past him. But it's like that. Right now with Nate Hobbs, like, well, when he's out there, throw to his side of the field. He just looks lost.
No.
And I don't know what that is. I don't know what
hurt.
that is. If it's him, if it's because he's hurt. He was hurt. I have no idea. But it's just, it's not there with him at the moment. So he's doing worse for you, like you said, like McManus. He's doing worse for you on the field right now than he is not. Maybe keeping him on the sideline, maybe working through the scheme a little bit more, because he's been out. So I don't know if it's because he just hasn't had a lot of time in practice to be able to practice the scheme. Like, it just looks like when he drops back in coverage, he's there, and then he just doesn't know he doesn't know what zone he's in. He doesn't know where he's supposed to go. I don't know if that's just a lack of understanding the concept. I have no idea. I don't know. You can only make so many excuses for a guy. I have no idea. But like you said with McManus, if it's going to be a problem having him out there, it's not worth it. And that's where you have to move on from that and try to make that problem lesser by putting somebody else out there, maybe a lesser player, but still somebody who is going to be in the right spots and do the right things.
I was gonna say Nate Hobbs, don't worry, he's out for another 1 to 2 weeks because of an MCL injury. So there you go. I was just gonna say, like,
he's hurt
and then
anyways.
Meniscus coming in, MCL now. I'm like, again, this is the thing that we knew about him coming out of Las Vegas. He's oft injured. Like, you weren't really gaining or losing anything with replacing Jair with him, because neither one of them are really playing much right now. But again, at least when Jair was out there, he may not play much. When he was out there, though, he knew what he was doing. At least on our team, he did. So I'm with you on that. Like, so it's just one of those things where if he's not healthy, or for that matter, if he doesn't know what the heck he's doing out there, you got to get him off the field, because they sometimes keep doing it. Oh, they'll keep him out there. They'll figure it out. They're going to work through it. No, I'm sorry. If that was the case, we should have benched Kevin King the moment he gave up that touchdown, because clearly he didn't have it, right? Because he gave up another one. And I'm just like, why bring Tramon Williams? This is the same thing in this case. Like, if you have that guy out there who you could see doesn't know exactly what he's doing, sometimes you can't work through it. And when you benched him, was probably the best thing you could have done.
Nope, I agree. I agree 100%. So we're going to come back here. We're going to wrap up the Panthers talk. We're going to preview the Eagles, and then we're going to get Elmer out of here for the day. We'll be right back here. Welcome back into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. Hey, this next segment here, we're going to wrap up the Packer talk there, wrap up with the Eagles here. This next segment is brought to you by Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood, Wisconsin. Expert traditional physical therapy and structural integration programming. Call for flexible scheduling and evaluations. Just call Chad down there at Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood. He'll get you right doing whatever you were doing, feeling better than ever. So Ummer is back here. We're going to quick go over what we want to see here in this Eagles matchup, as we always run long with our segments. So here we are. We gotta buzz through the Eagles game here coming up. So Ummer, let's talk about this Eagles game right away. Keys to the game. What are some of your keys that you're looking at in this game? Packers, what do they got to do to pick up a win here against the Eagles on Monday night?
I think we've noticed with the Eagles and some of the losses that they had this year have been teams that have not been really scared to run their game plan, try to run the ball, take advantage of aggressiveness on defense and on offense. For the longest time, their OC or their Kevin Portillo did not know what he was doing at all. Hence why that looks so disjointed. And right now, even though they are coming off of bye weeks, they're going to be extra prepared, extra rested for us. You have to take advantage of a few things. You have to be able to take advantage of Jalen Carter's aggressiveness and try to get him ejected, because that seems to work multiple times now. Also, Saquon Barkley, you got to make sure that he's not 100%, so you have to take advantage of that. Not like hurt him, but just make sure you take advantage of his not being as fast. And again, it is one of those things where on defense, I feel like we'll be okay. My concern is how is Jordan Love and this offense and LaFleur bounce back from that really putrid demonstration on Sunday.
I agree with that. Looking at that run game for the Eagles, I think it's going to be a lot on Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, those guys. They got pushed around on Sunday against the Panthers. They were opening up holes and they were moving. There was that backup guard for him. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he was pushing
Damian
them around.
Lewis?
He was pushing them around like no other. He was owning the trenches. So this is a game where the defensive line needs to come up big, and they need to, especially guys like Parsons and Gary on the outside there, but up the middle. You're talking about a guy like Saquon who's a little banged up coming into this one. Those guys have to set the tone at the front end of this for the Green Bay Packers. So I'm right there with the defensive line having to be good in this one. And I'm kind of looking at the secondary in this game. I don't know what A.J. Brown's going to be, because nobody knows at this point. Is he going to be reading a book? Is he going to be there? I have no idea what the heck's going on with that. But you still have Devontae Smith. You got to deal with Dallas Goedert. Always seems to have the Packers number when it seems like they play him. So this is the game where you got to be watching out for those guys. This isn't the same Eagles team that you saw last year, but this is still a good team. This is still a good team with a good quarterback and a good running back, or great running back, that can get the job done if you allow it. Like you said, you got to go in here with a plan, not this. And it just seems like, I don't know if the Packers just play down to teams or what, but you have to come into this game and you have to be fired up. You have to. I truthfully don't understand how the Packers came into that game against the Panthers so dull, because they hadn't been to Lambeau in so long. They were away from Lambeau for so long. You get in front of your home crowd again, and that's the performance. That's the like, guys on the sideline looked dead. There was no energy. You had guys waving towels on third down, but that was about it. Nobody on the field looked like they had it. It just looked like a team that lacked juice. So when you come out on a Monday night under the lights at Lambeau against the Eagles, a team that you expect and you expect to beat, that you're going to have to beat. You're going to have to beat this team to end up where you want to be. What are you going to show me?
Yep.
That's one of my big questions going to be. And a key for me too is, without Tucker Kraft, who else is going to step up in that? Who else is going to step up in the blocking game to take over what Tucker Kraft did? Because it's going to be tough. He was everything. He was a lot of things. Who's going to step up to be that guy? Can Luke Musgrave step up and be a better version of himself in this time that Tucker Kraft's out? Will it be an offensive lineman? Those are the things I'm looking for. It's got to be the run game. The run game has got to set the tone for the Packers in this one, because the defense for the Eagles are good enough that if you can't get the run game going, they're going to exploit. They're going to take advantage of what they know they can with Jordan Love, and that's where, when he has to start throwing the ball a lot, He sometimes gets dangerous. He sometimes gets reckless. And he gets reckless with the deep ball, as we saw with that silly pass that he made. So that's something I'm worried about there. Amr, last thing. What do you got there? One last thing to wrap us up here with this.
Yeah, I have no expectations. I just want them to come out and just show like they care and they actually put up a good game. I'm so still blown from Sunday. I don't even know. I can't even really I'm just looking forward to the game to get this taste out of my mouth. That's it.
Yep. No, 100%. Just to wrap it up there. Yes, that game more or less surprised me because they had already been a part of a trap game with the Browns that they got trapped again. Exactly. I guess that was my biggest surprise with that game against Carolina. So, Amr, let the people know where to find you out there across social media.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. I was going to say you can find me on Twitter and X at AMAR3455, Coast to Coast Packers. We go every Thursday night or Thursdays and Fridays. We might even start doing after game. We should have done one after that game that we needed it. And yeah, just find us at Coast to Coast Packers, or you can find me on Twitter.
Make sure you guys check him out. He's got tons of great stuff there. Make sure you guys check out Coast to Coast Packers coming up this week. It'll be probably Thursday, Friday there, like he said. But make sure you're checking out Facebook. I'll share the live out there on Facebook and on Twitter. And then when we go live, you can check that out. We do tons of Packer talk on there, and we'll preview this game, talk more about that Panther game, and then preview this game coming up. So, Amr, thank you as always. When we come back here from the break, Kyle's going to stop by. We have some Bucks talk to get to when he comes back here. So we're going to come back here on Wisconsin Sports. Back into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment here, Kyle's stopping by. We're going to talk a little NBA. I want to talk some Bucks, and then we got some NFL trade deadline talk to get to. This next segment is brought to you by B&H Concrete Lifting. Tired of tripping over sunken driveways, patios, or sidewalks? With B&H Concrete Lifting, you can ditch the trip hazards without breaking the bank on new concrete and have it leveled for less than half the cost of the replacement. That's all you need to know. Call our friends down there, 715-897-6790 today for a complimentary estimate. Get this thing done before winter is here. So Kyle is here tonight. It's Wednesday. Kyle, how are we doing on this Wednesday?
I'm good. Yeah, it's November, so NFL teams are starting to make that push to the playoffs. College basketball's underway, so it's a good time.
And baseball is officially done yet not done, right?
Yeah.
It's never done. It's never truly done. It's like the World Series ends and then everything starts up. Guys start getting kicked out. We get to see who gets to become a free agent, who's going to go to arbitration, everything like that. So craziness, that is the MLB season. But Kyle, as always, we got to roll it into the Mellow Yellow Minute, the trivia portion of the show here in honor of my grandpa. He loved trivia. He loved Mellow Yellow. We call it the Mellow Yellow Minute here. And if you want to get involved in the Mellow Yellow Minute, hit us up. Get this number ready, 715-990-4914. That is 715-990-4914. If you get the answer before Kyle does, we'll get you a t-shirt. We'll get you something. We'll get you some swag. That's all you need to know. We'll get you something over there. Text it to me, 715-990-4914. So here is the Mellow Yellow Minute question of the day, the top five. And our top five, Kyle said college basketball's back. We had to do a college basketball top five here. So this is the most times a men's basketball team has opened the season in the AP top five. So your options, Kyle, and they're the options that most people would probably guess here. You have Duke, Kansas, UCLA, North Carolina, and Kentucky. So that is our top five. Now, Kyle, you have to put them into order. If you guys out there want to get involved, 715-990-4914. If you think you have it, text it to me right now. Give me the top five. We'll let you know if you're right. If you get it right, hey, you get entered into our drawing for the Ace Hardware Rewards gift card. And then you also get some swag. That's all you need to know. So hit me up right now. Kyle, what do we got top five?
Okay. See, I think I know number one, but I'm going to keep to the tradition and go 5-1. So 5, I'm going to say North Carolina.
Not North Carolina.
Okay.
This is a team, the last play, I'll give you this one. Number 5 was a team that was really good for a really long time. And as of late, they've gone away.
Okay. So that's giving me Duke or Kentucky. I'm gonna say Kentucky.
Not Kentucky. Really good a long time ago, but they went downhill. Not downhill. I shouldn't say downhill. They've had a program change now. They're a little bit better now.
That's got to be UCLA.
UCLA is number 5.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, Bill Walton days. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have Duke,
UCLA
Kansas, North
5.
Carolina, and Kentucky left.
So 4. Give me Kentucky at 4.
Not Kentucky. Now remember, this is the most times in that top 5, most appearances in the top 5.
Yeah,
Remember that.
Yeah. Okay, so not Kentucky, Kansas, Duke using. All right, I'll go UNC at 4.
Not UNC.
Oh my god, this is crazy. Is it Duke?
It is not Duke. It is Kansas. Kansas is number 4. Kansas comes in at number 4. So you have Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky left.
Okay. Maybe maybe we'll hit a stride here. All right, so 3. Give me North Carolina.
Don't try to kill North Carolina so much.
Because I feel like okay, it's not North Carolina. That's fine. I don't want to just all right. So 3.
Duke is number 3. Duke is number 3 there.
Because I'm assuming Kentucky's number 1.
Kentucky is number 1. North Carolina comes in at number 2. Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, and then UCLA are the top 5 most times opened in the top 5. Kansas is always up in there, but I think Kentucky's been there the most. I really have. And UCLA hasn't been there in a while, but I mean,
That's
went
true.
through a very long stretch of being up there. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Bell Yell Minute, and hopefully somebody else out there got it before Kyle did there. We'll make sure to check that out. We'll make sure to get you a prize if you did there. So let's get to the Bucks, Kyle. Let's get to the Bucks. The Bucks have impressed to start this season. Start this little bit of run here. 5-2 as we're recording. As you guys know, pre-recorded. We're talking to you on a Tuesday. This is on a Wednesday. So they're playing the Raptors right now. We don't know the outcome of that. We know that this Bucks team has started the season now. 5-2 there.
Mm-hmm.
Beating the Raptors once, beating the Wizards early on there, lost to the Cavs. Then they beat the Knicks, Warriors, lost to the Kings in a weird fashion. Like no Giannis against the Warriors. They beat them. Then they have Giannis back for the Kings. They lose. And then they beat the Pacers, which was, I think, big for the Bucks, big for Miles Turner, a big confidence boost there. So, Kyle, impressions of this Bucks team to start out this young season?
I mean, look, I feel like they are off to a good start. I feel like they're finding out some things about some of these young players that they have something there. We're seeing Rollins emerge. You have AJ Green as a sharpshooter. I think what you're going to notice is the Bucks are going to probably get you with 8-9 guys who can all average around double figures or more, which, look, in today's game, you're not going to necessarily see that in a lot of places. And I think because of that, they'll handle themselves well. And just like every team, as long as, they're healthy, I think that they can definitely be a top 6 team. And they're probably doing better than you think in terms of their offense. Because I think a lot of questions before the season was, outside of Giannis, who else would step up? They're 4th in scoring, averaging around 123 a game. And yes, we know today's NBA, there's a lot of scoring, but they're only giving up 118. So the differential is about 5 points a game. That's nothing to, just gloss over. They're 2nd in the league field goal percentage, so they're efficient scoring, shooting from the field. They're 2nd from 3, shooting 41%, which some of that is probably Giannis shooting a little bit higher than he probably will, but I think that's something that they can maintain. 41% with the guys that they have shouldn't be too crazy. But today's NBA is shooting the 3 and defending it. They're top 10 defending the 3, only giving up 34%. So they have the tools and the makings to be a very good team, especially in this version of the East this year.
Yeah. No, I like that. And that's The East is waiting for somebody to take it at this point because there's
Yes.
nobody like the Celtics. They're banged up. You have different teams banged up. The Pacers, no Halliburton, he's banged up. So you have all these teams banged up. It's waiting for somebody to come and take it. And the Bucks could very well be that team. So I like that there. You're talking about the emergence of some guys, right? Talking about the emergence of guys. Let's just key in on some players that we've seen so far. So the big one for me that I've loved is Ryan Rollins. A guy who, a journeyman, was with the Warriors there. They didn't want him. Now he's with the Bucks. And the Bucks now, they're utilizing him to his fullest. And, man, he's making it an interesting case for himself when Kevin Porter does come back. What is the minute load going to be between those two? So tell me about what you've seen from Ryan Rollins. It's not just offensively. It's defensively too, right?
Yes. I mean, you alluded to that Golden State game. So if you were just looking at that game and somebody said Giannis isn't going to play, you'd probably wonder, well, where's the scoring going to come from? Ryan Rollins led the team with 32 points that game. And you talk about defensively, he's averaging about a little over 2 steals a game. So he's a guy getting out in the passing angles. He's keeping guys in front of him, getting deflections. So he's giving you that two-way play. And even when Giannis is out there, a lot of games, Rollins is up there in assists. So we know Giannis handles the ball a lot, but Rollins has shown that he's a guy who can facilitate the offense, get guys into, their areas that they like to shoot from and deliver it to them in their shooting pocket and everything like that. So I do think him doing this now when Porter Jr. does come back, it does now give you that security that if Porter Jr. is struggling one night, you can lean on Rollins a little bit more and kind of play off the two of them and see, hey, this guy's hot tonight. We'll give him more minutes. If one of them's cold, you go to the other one. The more depth, the better. So this is definitely good if you're Doc, knowing that Rollins can lead the team in scoring if Giannis needs a night off, and if he's playing with Giannis, he complements him really well.
Yeah, and we did talk about in the offseason, well, before I think it was last week, maybe a week before, we were talking about what rotations might look like. And we had talked about, could you see the Bucks maybe when Kevin Porter does come back, because you're going to have Cole Anthony, he's been playing well too. Could you see them going with a 2-guard look like that, where they go smaller and try to move the ball faster, try to, I don't know if you want to say like play like Golden State, right, where they would go with those small ball lineups with Draymond running the 5. Could you see the Bucks kind of leaning towards that direction, where I don't know if you'd say it's going to be small because you're still going to have Giannis out there, but playing a little bit of a smaller lineup with 2-guard look like that?
Yeah, and that can work against certain teams. Look, I'm a Celtics fan. You can do that against the Celtics because the Celtics aren't a big team. You can do it against like a Miami because Giannis can cover Adebayo, so you're not really worried about getting destroyed on the glass. And I do think, once again, today's NBA, where teams like the more athletic, kind of smaller big men, that way they can run a little bit more. I think, like you're saying, the Bucks are now equipped to play that way. Last year's team, I don't know, because you had to work in guys like Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis is kind of a small 5, but when Brook was on the floor, you would never want to run a lineup kind of like that with him. But now you're more athletic. You can play that style, and a lot of the teams in the East are playing that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see some kind of form of that lineup with the Bucks now.
There is one guy that I believe, when I look at this Bucks team right now, if they could get him going and find a rhythm with him, this Bucks team could take the next step. Kyle Kuzma. He just seems like he has all the drive. And he everybody loves him. Giannis loves him. He's like, this is the greatest guy in the world. I love his the presence that he brings, the leadership, everything. I love what he brings to the basketball court. It's just, if he could find the rhythm, you see him make good moves, good shot. He makes great moves. It's just he can't finish, right? It's those little things. So, is a guy like Kyle Kuzma, if he can come along and he can be, I don't need him to be, like a third guy, like a fourth option, a fifth option, whatever. If he could be that guy, do you believe this Bucks team, because you were just talking, they're in the top 6, right? If he takes that step for you and becomes a consistent guy, Could this Bucks team be a top 4 team this year? Could you see that kind of elevation just with a guy like a Kyle Kuzma coming into his own?
I mean, yeah, like all you really need Kuzma to do is take advantage of mismatches. Like if he has a bigger guy who switches out onto him, he should be able to take them off the dribble. If he has a smaller guy, you'd like to believe that you could give him the ball and he could overpower him. And last season he had issues finishing around the rim. I think with the Bucks, he's going to have to be able to do that, because a lot of times if Giannis is attracting a lot of attention defensively and Kuzma's like in the opposite corner, there's going to be opportunities for him to dive to the hoop and get easy buckets. I think for Kuzma, it's more of like a confidence thing. If the Bucks show him that they really want him, they want him to be part of the future, I think you may get a better version of him. Because if you look at his career, he started with the Lakers. That was supposed to be, I guess he was supposed to be part of the future there. And then LeBron kind of comes in and he's not. Then he goes to Washington, where Washington's a losing situation. So he probably got into some bad habits. Now you're in Milwaukee with a guy like Giannis, who we know has the work ethic that's kind of unmatched. Like he's out there, he's giving it all. I would not be surprised if by midseason Kuzma is a regular contributor and Bucks fans are like, okay, this is the guy who the Lakers probably thought they were getting.
Yeah.
Like for me, if Kuzma's a 15 and 7 or 8 kind of guy, I could live with that.
I love that.
So he's a little under that right now, but I think he can elevate his game a little bit more.
I like that. I like the thought of getting a guy like him, because you can tell he's a hard worker. I think he is. Giannis is starting to rub off on him, I think, because I think he's really settled into his own in Milwaukee. He's just trying to prove himself. And you love guys like that, especially on a team like this, where that's what they want out of him. So love that there. Kyle, we got to hit a commercial break quick. Do you want to come back here? We'll get you back in the backside of the ad break here. We'll talk a little NFL trade deadline as we wrap up the show here. How's that sound? We'll get you back on the backside. All right. There we go. Kyle, we'll be back here. We're going to be back after the quick commercial break. We're going to wrap up the show. We're going to do some NFL trade deadline talk, and then we'll wrap it up on the backside of the ad break. We'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we wrap it up here on this Wednesday, November 5th. Wow, it is Wednesday, November 5th. That is absolutely baffling sometimes. But hey, this next segment, Kyle and I, we're going to talk a little NFL trade deadline. We're going to do our picks for the week. This next segment is brought to you by Peggy Sue Baelish, a lifelong resident of Central Wisconsin. Peggy Sue with Century 21 Gold Key Realty knows the area and the market. Whether you're buying or selling residential or commercial, Peggy Sue has the knowledge and experience to deliver results. Check her out there, 715-305-4345. That is 715-305-4345. Don't trust anyone else with your commercial or residential needs than Peggy Sue there at Century 21 Gold Key Realty. So, Kyle, let's talk about this trade deadline. It came and gone. It's came and gone, came and went. Mm-hmm. Come and gone. That sounds better. Come and gone sounds better. I don't know. It's late in the night here already. Anyways, so we see the NFL trade deadline app. See, words are starting to slip me. This is where we're at. I'm just gonna end it. We're just gonna end it right here. We're done. We're done. We're out of here. We're done. So the NFL trade deadline has come and gone. There we go. I got it now. I got it. See, I figured it out. Words are tough sometimes. Surprising moves, Kyle. Okay, let's go like this. Who are the surprises? Were there any surprise players to get moved and surprise teams to make those moves, I guess? Was there any of those that you saw?
I mean, look, I guess if we're going to be honest, I was a little surprised by the Sauce Gardner deal.
That's true.
I know the Jets have had their issues. I just thought Sauce Gardner was one of those guys that they were going to keep no matter what. Like, he's under contract until, I think, 2030. He's still young. He seemed like he'd be an Aaron Glenn type of guy on that defense. So that one did shock me. They got 2 first-rounders out of it. Oh, sorry. No, that's the Quentin Williams. No, they did. They got 2 picks out of it. They got a 4th and a 5th. No, I'm looking at the wrong trade again. They did get 2 first-rounders. I guess we're in this together. We're just 2 first-rounders and a wide receiver in Adonai Mitchell. who we all know Rams game let go of the ball before he scored. So I feel like both teams kind of got something that they wanted. I do think the Colts are taking a risk here, though, because Sauce Gardner's game has slipped a little bit. But if you're the Colts and you had an opportunity, why not? So that was a surprising move for me, for sure.
I agree. I was surprised to see Sauce move. But I would agree with the take of his play has gone south. Now that could be the Jets also being because you watch like Daniel Jones. This is a team of a guy who knows what it's like to play for a bad organization, go to a good one. Now it looks a little bit better. So maybe Sauce finds it with a better defense there where he isn't, relied on so heavily to stop whatever mess they're in right then. So I could see it working out, but also at the same time, I mean, the Colts got a pretty good bargain out of this. His contract's only going to cost him about $26 million for the 5 remaining years on the deal, which isn't terrible. So the Colts kind of made out decent. I think it was a good move for the Colts. They got some at least depth, right? If it isn't the greatest corner in the world, they got some depth. Now moving on from 2 first-rounders, that's a different story. But that's what happened there. A weird one. Let's go with weird. What do you think about the Cowboys making moves?
I mean, look, Quinnen Williams is another guy that I guess I was a little surprised the Jets moved off of him. But it's like Jerry was kind of telling us that they probably won't be active because there isn't a move that necessarily does anything for them this year. And then they go and get him and, move off Mazzie Smith in the deal. They got 2 picks as well. So if you're the Cowboys, you're going to have to hope that Quinnen Williams becomes a dominant force in the middle of your line because that defense needs a lot of help. So you need Quinnen Williams to be like a game wrecker to help the guys on the back end. And if he's not that, then this move doesn't really do much of anything for me.
No, when you look at that secondary needs like an overhaul. They need to just clear house with what they got. And I think that's the problem is he wants to stay Jerry Jones. My problem is he wants to stay so relevant that he actually makes it worse because he can't just blow it up. Sometimes you just got to blow it up. You just got to blow it up, bite your losses. They got draft picks galore right now at the Packers, right? The Packers sent them some draft picks there. So they have those picks. You don't get those picks. Go get yourself some back-end defense, guys. Draft correctly, which is sometimes a difficult thing. But draft correctly, especially if you're Jerry, because Jerry's the only one in the room making that decision of who to take. But it seems like they're trying to force something that isn't there. You're trying to add on pieces when you should be moving pieces. Move off of some of these guys on that defense. Do something out of the normal. Try to get some picks because look at your defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're a mess. They're a mess. I mean, could you realistically right now look at the Cowboys defense and say, I would want that defense? No. Maybe like Kenny Clark because I still like Kenny. But outside of that, it's a mess. Jacoby Myers. What do you think about that move? We figured he would get moved off. What do you think about him?
I mean, Jacoby Myers is he's not a flashy wide receiver. He's kind of like a chain mover. Like he can get you first downs. He has reliable hands. I mean, he won it out of Vegas, so you feel like you'll probably get a more motivated guy right now. And for Jacksonville, it seems like their season's kind of on the ropes, and this is a move that they're hoping can kind of give them some juice to pair along with Brian Thomas Jr. It's kind of like a nothing trade for me, but I guess I see why the Jags are just pulling straws here and hoping for something great.
Who would you say is the biggest trade deadline winner, and who's your biggest loser? If you had to give me one of each, who's your biggest winner? Who's your biggest loser?
I mean, I think the winner has to be the Eagles. I mean, they made a lot of their moves kind of before, but I'll kind of work that in. You get Jalen Phillips, who's a good pass rusher. Michael Carter is a good depth corner, and Jai Alexander, we'll see. But it was a need for them. Anybody but Adoree Jackson, so they're kind of stacking people ahead of them. I think you have to give it to the Eagles. Losers, it might be it might be the Jets because they probably should have sold off more than they did. And you could probably throw the Dolphins in there as well. Like, those are two teams going nowhere. There's a lot of speculation around their team, and they kind of did a little bit, but I feel like they could have done more.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. It's so easy to take like the cop out answers. You could have said, the Patriots. You could have said, a bunch of these Packers, right? A lot of people will probably say the Packers because they thought, Tucker Kraft's injury happened. They need to go find themselves a tight end. Well, which they did. It's hard to find a guy where you're going to bring him in for a year. And you're going to find a really good guy that only is a year, and you're not going to have to sell the farm for him. Yeah. So that's where you run into that problem where you're reacting off of what just happened, and it just so happens that an injury just happened as a trade deadline was, a couple days later. Well, that doesn't work out so well. So there's always that instant, well, we should have went and got this tight end. They should have went and got a corner. I've always said that they should go get a guy. Gutekunst has proven that he won't. So, I mean, that's just the Packers and the Packers being the Packers. So, Kyle, we're going to do 3 quick pick'ems. Kyle's going to pick his 3 games of the weekend. I'm going to pick my 3 games of the weekend and winner. And then we're going to say winner, I don't know. The winner wins. I don't know. We'll keep track at the end of the season. The winner will win something. I have no idea. So, Kyle, pick your top 3 games. We'll go you, then me, then, back and forth. But what is your first pick that you're going to pick for this weekend?
Okay, so first pick of the weekend, I am going to take the Rams on the road against the Niners.
Rams on the road against the Niners. I like that one. Let's see here. Kyle took the Rams. I am going to take... Give me... Ooh, that game could be ugly. Jets-Browns could be ugly. Oh, give me the Panthers. Give me the Panthers at home against the Saints. I'll take the Panthers at home. They just beat the Packers. I'll take them. I'll pick them. I'll take them.
Okay. I will go... There's some interesting ones here. Okay. So I'll take games. Give me the Texans at home against the Jags.
Texans at home against the reeling Jaguars. Kyle said their season's teetering. The Texans may put it away. Let's see here. You went with a little bit of a better game there, so I'm going to have to go with a little bit of more of a bold game. Give me the Ravens to go on the road to the Vikings and win. Give me the Ravens on the road.
That's an interesting game. Those are two teams that not really sure what they are right now.
Yeah, they both need it desperately.
Yes. Okay.
Last pick here, Kyle. Okay, we got to go with the bold ones. There's some big ones. Wait, what do we got here? There's some big ones on here.
I will go bold.
Take the Rams and 49ers. That was a big pick, too.
Give me the Giants on the road to beat the Bears.
Oh, I was going to say that one, too. I was thinking that one. I like that one. Giants on the road, Bears. Everybody's like, well, they won last week. And it's like, yeah, but when I turned it on, it was 49 or 47 to 29 or something. And I was like, this should be over. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, the Bears are just squeaking it out. I'm like, what? What happened? There was like 4 minutes left. Like, what happened in this game? Oh, give me the bold. Wait, I need a bold one. Let's see here. Sunday Night Football. Give me the Chargers over the Steelers. Give me Chargers over the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. I like that one. I don't want to take Packers Eagles. That was my next bold pick, but don't want to do it. Don't want to do it there. Nope. Can't have the announcers jig. So, Kyle, thank you as always for stopping by tonight. Let the people know where to find you out there across social media.
Just look me up on YouTube or Facebook, Chomping at the Bit. You'll get the links to all my other socials there. That's the easiest way to find me.
Thank you, as always, Kyle, for stopping by tonight here. Make sure you guys are checking him out, Chomping at the Bit. You can find he's got all kinds of NFL content. He's going to talk about this trade deadline. He's got NBA stuff right now. He's got a whole mess of things going on over there at Chomping at the Bit. So make sure you're checking him out there. And thank you guys, as always, for tuning in tonight here to the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and the rest of your week. But until I talk to you guys again next Wednesday, see ya.